In ASME Y14.5 2009 standard, there was a provision given telling that we can control the flatness of a center plane also. So this is an application where we wanted to control the center plane of the part. Then we give like this. Now, if you see in the feature control frame, we have two compartments. The first compartment is for geometrical characteristic symbol. The second compartment for geometrical tolerance value. Along with the geometrical tolerance value, we have used additional symbol. This symbol is called as modifier symbol, as I said earlier in one of the slides. If we want more flexibility, then we use this symbol called maximum material condition modifier. So here, what is the meaning is, when the part is produced at its maximum material condition, here the part would be at its maximum material condition when it is at 2.5. When it is produced at 2.5, it can have a bend of 0.2. Okay, so but as per the drawing, the part can be produced at 2 also. So when the part is produced at 2, the flatness error, center plane flatness error need not be 0.2, it can be more than 0.2 also. In this example, it can be up to 0.7. So this is the flexibility that we can give for manufacturer without affecting the functionality of the part. That is the advantage of using this GD&T in place of coordinate tolerancing system. The third geometrical characteristic symbol under form control is called circularity. This can be applied only to axis symmetric parts where you have a circular cross section. So if I take a cross section, I get a circular profile. So to control that circular profile, maintaining exact perfect circular shape is not possible. So we have to give some built-in error. So that is why we are giving circularity control here, and it should be within 0.25. This circularity is a two-dimensional entity, and the tolerance zone will be two coaxial circles within which the actual surface must lie. The fourth characteristic symbol under form control is cylindricity. If you want to control straightness and circularity both together for an axisymmetric part, then instead of giving them as a separate entity, we can tie both of them together and then give it as cylindricity. So here, circularity at any given cross section and straightness both together is controlled in cylindricity control. Here, this is a three-dimensional entity. The tolerance zone will be two coaxial cylinders which are 0.25 mm apart because it is the value that is given in the feature control frame. The actual surface must lie within these two coaxial cylinders. If this condition is satisfied, then we tell that the part is the cylindricity of the part is maintained. Now, the first four symbols what we discussed is form controls, which comes under individual features, which does not depend upon any of the neighboring surfaces. But if you want to give some related features, then how do you create a relationship? That is what is given by a term called datum. So datum is nothing but creating a reference between the surface that we have to control and already existing accurate surface. It's a very vast subject, datums. It's a very big topic in standard. So here I just covered it in a single slide. The actual part after manufacturing will have some surface error. That if you have taken this surface as a datum, then we call it as datum feature. Whenever we want to measure, then we have to use an instrument which is much more accurate than the surface. So that instrument what we use for measuring is called a datum feature simulator. When we keep the actual part onto the datum feature simulator, in this example it is a surface plate, then we create a plane. That plane is the origin of measurement, and that would be called as simulated datum plane. Okay, so this is how we give datums, and we take this as a reference for measuring the neighboring surfaces. Now the second category is related features. Under related features, the first subcategory was orientation control. So this orientation control tells that whenever you have the relationship between two surfaces as an angle, then you can use orientation control. So in this example, this surface and this surface are related and the relationship is an angle. Then we can use orientation control. If the angular relationship is anything other than 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees or 270 degrees, then we call it as angularity. Here this angle is 30 degrees. It is not 0, 90, 180, 270. So what we can give is angularity. What do we mean by angularity? I want to control the angle of this surface with reference to datum A. Then I give angularity. So here this is an application on a prismatic part with surface control. Here we have another application where we have to control the axis of this hole with reference to a datum surface. So this is another possibility. We can control the axis of the whole angle also with reference to the data. So these are two methods by which we can control angularity. Whenever the angle is 90 degrees or 270 degrees, then we use perpendicularity control. In this case, this surface and this surfaces are right angles to each other, which means 90 degrees. So we are using perpendicularity. So maintaining exactly perfectly 90 degree with the datum reference is not possible. So we are giving allowable error, and that error must be within two parallel planes of 0.12 mm apart. If this condition is met, then we call it as perpendicular. This first surface is perpendicular to datum surface. This is an example of controlling the axis with reference to a datum, and again here it is 90 degrees, so it is perpendicularity. Whenever we give orientation controls to axis, then we can use this modifiers to get more advantage. That means this geometrical tolerance value can vary, change depending upon the size of this particular part. Whenever the angular relationship between the surface of control and the datum surface is 0 or 180 degree, then we use parallelism. In this application, we have two parallel surfaces which are 0 degrees apart. So we are using parallelism. Maintaining perfect parallel surface with reference to datum surface is not possible. So here we are allowing an error, and that error should not be more than 0.12, which is the value that is specified in the feature control frame. This is an example where we want to control axis of one hole and axis of another hole which are parallel to each other. Again, as I said, for perpendicularity, since we are controlling the axis, we can give modifiers to get flexibility. This is about orientation controls, anything related to angle. But there was a lot of debate by experts whether it is 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree. Degree is degree. Why should we have three different terminologies? For 90 degrees and 270 degrees, why should we have perpendicularity? For 0 degrees and 180 degree, why should we have parallelism? Why not we use angularity itself for any angle? That was the debate. And in ASME Y14.5 2009 standard, the ASME committee had given a provision telling that wherever you want to use perpendicularity and parallelism, in that case, instead of this symbol, you can directly use angularity symbol itself. Previously, I told that there are only 12 symbols. Now, if you consider this, you can use only angularity for any angle, means perpendicularity symbol is also not required, parallelism symbol is also not required. That means effectively we have only 10 geometric characteristic symbols. Second subcategory of related feature is called location controls. As the name specifies, whenever you want to locate a surface with reference to some other surface, then we call it as location controls. Under location controls, we have three types. The first type is called position. Out of these 14 symbols, positional tolerance is one of the most important geometrical characteristic symbol, and this is very much important interview point of view and application point of view also. This positional tolerance is the only tolerance which can easily convert a coordinate dimensioning system into a geometrical characteristic dimensioning style to get all the advantages of GD&T. So on the slide, what you see is a comparison between coordinate dimensioning style and geometric dimensioning style. Previously, if I want to get the center of this hole on the drawing, it would have been given as plus or minus tolerance, which means that the center of this 8.5 dia hole can be anywhere within 10.25 plus or minus 0.5 in x direction and 10.25 plus or minus 0.5 in y direction. Because of this plus or minus tolerance, we ended up with getting a square tolerance zone. Now, the problem with this square tolerance zone is from the true center, if I go in x direction or if I go in y direction, I'll get tolerance value of 0.5. But if I go in diagonal direction, I will get a tolerance value more than 0.5. For flexibility of manufacturing, always we should have same geometrical tolerance in all the directions. So in GD&T, when we use positional tolerance, what will happen? From the center, you go in any direction, radius would be the tolerance. So you get the same tolerance value. That is why having a circular tolerance zone is advantageous compared to rectangular tolerance zone. First problem overcome. Second problem with coordinate dimensioning system is the hole can be produced any size between 8.4 to 8.6. That is the dimension and tolerance given here. So whatever may be the hole size between 8.4 to 8.6, this tolerance of 1 mm by 1 mm square is fixed. It does not change. Whereas when we give positional tolerance, and if we add that M symbol, which is called a maximum material condition modifier, then what will happen? I can have different diameter, tolerance diameter for different hole size. So from fixed tolerance zone, I am getting flexible tolerance zone. So second problem overcome. Third problem is, if someone inspect the center of the hole from this end, they will get some value. And someone else comes, they inspect from this end to the center, they will get some other value. Same part, one person inspects from left side, one value. One person inspects from right side, one value. Because of this ambiguity, acceptable part can be rejected or a rejected part can be accepted. Whereas in this case, I said for related features, we have to create a relationship with the form of datums. So here we are giving a clear instruction telling that this center must be measured from this surface B only. No one should measure from the opposite surface. So there is no ambiguity, there is no confusion at all. Whoever measures, they will measure from this end and this end only, so that the measurement would be same. Because of this reasons, people did not want to follow coordinate dimensioning system. They wanted to shift to geometric dimensioning system. Now, what is the advantage of converting a coordinate tolerancing system to a positional tolerance? In coordinate tolerance, we used to get a square tolerance 1 mm by 1 mm in this example. When we take the diagonal, which is the maximum tolerance value, and then convert that into a circle, we create a circle of 1.4. When we superimpose this 1.4 circle onto this 1 mm by 1 mm square, we get 57% more tolerance than what we used to get with the square tolerance zone. Because we are getting more tolerance with positional tolerance, people started using positional tolerance. This is the ideal condition, but practically it is not possible. So this axis of the hole can be anywhere within this cylinder. It can be straight like this or it can be at an angle. also. So this is an example used to tell that positional tolerance, along with controlling the position of the hole, it controls the perpendicularity and parallelism of the hole with reference to datums. That means position can control orientation also. Second characteristic symbol under location control is called concentricity. As the name specifies, whenever you want a axis of one cylinder to be concentric with another cylinder axis, then we use concentricity. In this case, you see, and concentricity can be applied only to axisymmetric part. In this example, we have one axis which should be concentric with the datum axis. In such cases, we give concentricity. So what does that tell us? If I make a 2-point measurement on this bigger cylinder, I'll get a center. That center is called a derived median point. That derived median point must be within this cylinder of 0.4, which is concentric to the datum axis A. If this condition is met, then we tell that the concentricity of this axis is met with reference to datum axis. But the problem here is, when I measure the center at this direction, I will get one center. If I measure the center in this direction, the center what I get would be totally different from the previous center. Like this, on the same plane, different directions, different centers. Because of this, it was very difficult for people to measure the center and then validate, telling that it is maintained. Okay, so because of these reasons, people did not want to use it. So in place of concentricity, people started using position and runouts. So ASME committee took a decision to delete this symbol itself. So in 2018, this symbol is deleted. The third characteristic symbol under location control is called symmetry. This is very much similar to concentricity. Here only difference is where you wanted axis to be concentric with the datum axis. Here you want one of the center plane to be coplanar with the datum plane. So in this example, you have a path that is having a center plane. On that part, you have a slot. That slot is having a center plane. Both the center planes must be in one plane. That is the ideal condition. Theoretically, that is how we want it, but practically it is not possible. So after manufacturing, you may end up with a slot like this. The center of that slot, which is nothing but the derived median point, can be anywhere within these two parallel planes, 0.8 mm apart. If all the derived median points are within this 0.8 parallel planes, then we call that the slot center plane is symmetric with the datum plane. But the problem is how to check this. So it is a very tedious process of checking. Because of this reason, people did not want to use symmetry also. So they, in place of this, they started using positional tolerance. So as I said, ASME committee in Y14.5 2018 standard, they deleted this symbol also. So under location controls in the latest standard, we have only positional control. The third category under related feature is called runouts. So this, why we call it as runout is it can control multiple geometrical errors. So under that, the first category is called radial runout. If you see this, radial runout is placed onto a taper surface, and here it is placed onto a cylindrical surface. So whether it is a taper surface or cylindrical surface, if I take a cross section, what I'm going to get a circular profile. So wherever you get an axisymmetric part with a circular profile, in all such cases, you can take radial runout with reference to a datum axis. When we give like this, circularity of this particular surface must be within 0.02. That means I'm controlling the form. That circle will have a center point. That center point must be coinciding with the datum axis A. That means I'm controlling the location also. That center plane must be perpendicular to that that circular plane must be perpendicular to the datum axis, which means I am controlling the orientation also. Since it can control multiple geometrical characteristic symbols, we can straight away use run nodes in place of using multiple callouts. This is a total run node, second category under run nodes. Here, total run node can be applied only to cylindrical surfaces. So here I want the surface to be cylindrical, and I want this cylindrical surface axis to be concentric with the datum axis A. And I want the cylindrical axis to be parallel to datum axis A. So form, cylindricity, concentricity, location, and orientation, parallelism. All the three are controlled with total run node. As I said, total run node can be applied only to cylindrical surface. You cannot apply total run node to a surface like this because there is no cylindrical surface. So here is an example of using radial run node and total run node. So here total run node is applied to a cylindrical surface with the two datums, which means this surface must be cylindrical and it must be perpendicular to C, parallel to datum A, and this axis must be concentric with the datum A. And here if you see, the total run node is applied to a flat surface, which means I am controlling the flatness of that surface, and that surface must be parallel to C, and that surface must be perpendicular to D. And here, since we do not have cylindrical surface, but when I take a cross section, I get a circular surface. So in such cases, we can use radial run nodes. The third category, which is individual feature or related feature, is profile controls. In profile controls, we have profile of a line and profile of a surface. Why we call this category as individual or related feature is, for profile controls, datums are not mandatory. When you don't give datums, then you can control the surface form. When you give datum, you control the form as well as the orientation or location depending upon the application. So here the first one is profile of a line. Whenever we talk about profile, we should be very clear of which contour is taken as a profile control. So I can call this as a planar profile. So I should be very clear telling that I am going to control the profile of a line in this area only. So for that we use this symbol called between symbol. Between C to D, the surface must be within 0.16. So the profile shape must be controlled within 0.16. If you want to control the entire surface, then we use this symbol, which is called as all around symbol. So this symbol tells that all the surfaces where this arrow is pointing onto, that surface will be considered for profile of a surface study. The difference between profile of a line and profile of a surface is, profile of a line is two-dimensional entity. It is applicable only at one particular cross section. If I convert this profile of a line to profile of a surface, then that is for the entire surface. That is the only difference. So here we have profile of a surface, and we have a datum A also, which means this surface must be perpendicular to A, and the shape form must also be controlled, which must be within 0.6. So you end up getting two boundaries which are 0.6 mm apart. The actual surface must lie within those two 0.6 mm boundary. This is an example of all over, two circles over here, which tells that all the surfaces of this part is considered for profile control. So this I have already explained to you, between symbol. Okay, so we had an overview of all the 14 symbols. All these 14 symbols, whatever we learned now, can be applied to the drawings, orthographic drawing only. But due to advancement in the manufacturing processes, now people started giving dimensional tolerance and geometrical tolerance directly on 3D models. So when we give this geometrical tolerances directly onto a 3D model, then we call it as digital product definition. In industry, it is also called as model-based definition. So you go to any interview related to design, either you will be asked questions on GD&T or on digital product definition. So it is very, very important for us to learn these symbols, how to apply these symbols for different applications and functions, and then use it in a proper way.